Hey there, my friends, it's Dave Wood, and today I'm going to talk to you about the art of creating content that compels people to pull out their credit card and buy. To start this, I want to share a story with you about time that I heard John Maxwell speak and then something that happened to me later. Some of you know John Maxwell. He's a leadership author and has authored about 40 books. He actually right now still makes about one a year and puts out an unbelievable amount of content that's really good on leadership. And so I heard him speak originally in an Amway convention in 2002. I heard him again in 2003, all the way through 2005, when I then jumped to another company and failed at that too for a couple of years. But when I heard him speak originally, I remember him talking about the importance of personal development. My mind was actually blown by him. The reason was because of how much he seemed to get done. Putting out a book a year is a lot of content to create, isn't it? So I always wondered about that, and then later I ended up creating massive success. And I remember I was going in 2013 and doing an event in Austin, Texas. And when I went there, I always had a massage before my events, and the massage therapist who came up was massaging my back and getting the knots out. And she asked me why I was there, and I said, well, I'm putting on a personal development convention. And she said, oh really, do you know John Maxwell? And I said, yeah, why? And she says, well, he comes here all the time and I always give him a back massage when he comes. He really likes my massages. And I was like, really? Have you ever talked to him? And she says, yes. And I said, I've always wondered how he creates so much content and has been so consistent over the years, because it's just an unbelievable amount that he seems to get done. And she says, let me tell you a story of something that he told me one of the earlier times when he was doing an event here and I was giving him a massage before he was speaking, right? That's, by the way, a secret. If you want to know how to be relaxed on stage, get a back massage beforehand. It helps more than anchoring or doing NLP. That helps too, but you really want to be relaxed, get a back massage, and you'll feel good when you walk out on the stage and you'll have the right energy and everything. It's a secret for the ladies especially. Now, I was talking to this chick, and guess what she said? She said, well, I asked John Maxwell that same thing. I said, how do you do so much? It's amazing. And here's what he told me. He said, 20 years ago, when I was younger, I made a decision that every single day, 7 days a week, I was going to do 3 things. And I've stuck to it. Would you like to know what those 3 things are? And she said, yeah. And he said, every day I decided that I'm going to, number 1, I'm going to read for an hour. Number 2, I'm going to write for an hour. And number 3, I'm going to think for an hour every single day. And she told me that he just basically started doing that and never stopped. And I said, really? For like 20 years? And she said, yes. And this is what he told me. And this is the same thing that he said at the conventions back in like 2005 when I heard him speak. So this is a consistent man. He said, when I started to read for an hour and I started to write for an hour and I started to think for an hour, for a while I was about the same as my peers. I maybe knew a little bit more about certain industries, but I didn't really know a lot more, and some of them were studying too. But after a year, there started to be a little bit of a gap between my knowledge and theirs. He said after 2 years there was a really big gap. After 5 years, the gap started to get really gigantic between our incomes because I was thinking at a different level. But after 20 years, I can't even relate to the people that I used to work with. And the reason isn't because I'm better than them. The reason is because I operate on a fundamental different level of development than they do, because they are watching TV when I'm learning. And so he made a decision that every single day he was going to learn, he was going to think, and he was going to create content. And this is decades ago, and he's continued to do it. Well, after decades, he's still earning millions of dollars a year. His crowds continue to get bigger. He continues to be guest speakers at different events, and he's one of the most influential thought leaders on leadership and one of the most studied minds in personal development. And how did he do it? He did it by 3 simple habits. It wasn't like rocket science. It wasn't some magical strategy. It was 3 habits. Every day he decided he was going to learn for an hour or read for an hour. He was going to write for an hour, and he was going to think for an hour. Now, this is a process that I've talked about a long time, and you don't have to do it an hour in each category. And a lot of the part-time people, that might not be conducive to making enough money to get out of your job. But if you decide every single day that you're going to learn, and you decide every single day that you're going to create content, and every single day that you're going to dedicate some time to thinking and dreaming, this is going to change your future, and it's going to change your reality and change the way that you can create things. Because if you listen to my content, if you listen to my confidence, if you listen to what I teach on stage, the reason I can free flow like this, like I can in this episode, where I can just go through these principles with just a couple bullet point notes, the reason I can do that is because I'm always learning, I'm always writing, I'm always thinking. If you learn to exercise your mind and you learn to study in your field of expertise and continue to do it over a period of time, maybe there won't be too much of a difference in a year. There might not be too much of a difference in 6 months or even 2 years. But there's going to be a really big difference in 5 years. You will know things that nobody around you knows, and therefore you will get paid what nobody around you gets paid, and you're going to have to change your sphere of association. So that's John Maxwell's habits. Read for an hour, write for an hour, and think for an hour. Now, I want to extend beyond that and talk to you about how you can create content that really can change the world around you and really can do amazing things in your life, and how you can utilize that to also create riches at the same time. See, content is actually the key to attracting people who are thinking people that have money to spend. A lot of times people are looking for a sales video that just gets somebody to pull out their credit card and buy on the spot, and you need those too. But a lot of times what you have to do in order to increase conversions is you have to lower the price, you have to increase the pushiness, you have to be more aggressive. But what happens when you do that is, yes, you get more sales, but also at the same time what you're doing is you're lowering the quality of your customers. And so we've had times, for example, where we've been really aggressive and pushy and direct and lowering price and doing deals on sales on front ends. But then what's happened is that all of the thinking people who like to learn, they stop paying attention to our emails and they don't buy, and we're getting a bunch of people that are good people, but they're in a lower income qualification, and they're there a lot of times for a reason, right? It's because they haven't learned to think. And we can help them too over a period of time, but if you want to grow a business, it's much smarter, especially if you're in a personal development niche, if you're helping people transform, to work with people who are in the middle class or have money to spend, because if they don't have money, you can't sell them anything. Does that make sense to you? So if you're creating content, you're actually going to attract other people who like to learn, who like to think, and people who like to learn and think eventually end up having more money than everyone else. But there's a few more things you can do in order to make your content great. Here's the next step that I would do. I would actually take your learning and then mastermind with other people who are also learning. I like to say mastermind with like minds. And what's actually a mastermind? A mastermind is a group of people that get together, and when they get together, in the words of Napoleon Hill in his famous book, Think and Grow Rich, there forms another third mind from the collective consciousness of those minds all focused in one direction. And that's no fundamentally different than how Jesus said, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of them. Or if you look at religious leaders or teachers on meditation or people in the personal development niche, when people are unified in purpose, they can do amazing things with their future. If you learn to mastermind with a specific intention on the future with a group of people that are like you, you're going to learn new things that's even going to create better content. But also, if you're creating content, you should be creating content not with just the intention to sell, but with the intention to attract like minds to mastermind with, because all great empires are created through masterminds. Maybe empire is not the best word because maybe you have a negative connotation, but all riches are created, all prosperity is created through masterminds, right? So you want to create content that isn't just good, you want to create content that attracts like minds to you, and you can mastermind with them and you could create things together. So the next step that I would encourage you to do, again, is to mastermind with like minds. And that's going to get people who like you and are growing together with you to get in a circle and to also project their minds together to a single outcome, a single vision that you can accomplish together. It doesn't mean that you all want the same things. It means that you're working on something together. Here's the next thing that I would encourage you to do if you really want to create content that's attracting the right people. You've got to have clear vision and clear goals in your life. You've got to be able to have a vision of the future that's clear and a direction that you're going. Directionless content is very much similar to a directionless person. It doesn't really attract the right people, and it doesn't really accomplish anything. When you're creating your content shouldn't just have a call to action. Your call to action should fit into a business model that fits into outcomes that are clear, that fits into your vision, right? And you want to dream all the time. Here's one of the things I encourage you to do. I encourage you to take thinking time every day. And for a while, until you're at least totally clear for the first time, I would encourage you actually to spend a majority of your thinking time dreaming of how you want your future to be. What I found is very consistently, and actually every time I've ever actually looked into it, whenever people are extremely clear and they don't die first, which usually does not happen, okay, they accomplish their dreams. It's super consistent. For example, people will have a dream of going to college, they end up going. People will have a dream of proposing to a girl and marrying her, and they propose to her and they marry her. People will have a dream of getting a house, and they'll actually end up getting the house, and they'll find a way to get a loan to the bank. When people have dreams, people create amazing things all the time. When they don't have dreams, they kind of flounder around. And one of the things that entrepreneurs in particular will struggle with from time to time is what'll happen is they'll accomplish their dreams and forget to continue dreaming, and so by the time they get there, they don't have something else, and then they flounder, and their success begins to decline. That's happened to me actually multiple times, and I've had to relearn in order to do that. In order to do that in the right way, I've got to dream every day. I've got to take a little bit of time to dream of new things in my future. Now here's the next step, and this is, I think, the most important thing that you could do as long as you've got a dream. The first step is dreaming, right? It's dreaming. You've got to dream. Look, people say this all the time, and then what happens is people get into a business on the internet, or they get in our sphere of association, and they say, just show me what to do and I'll do it. Just show me what to do and I'll do it. And I say, no, you won't, right? Because I've seen it. And also, if you don't dream, if you don't have any sort of a vision, not only will you not stay with something, you won't take enough action, but you're also not going to inspire people to work with you in order to create your dream. Why did people want to work with Steve Jobs? They wanted to work with him because he had a dream and he was clear, and he kind of pulled everybody around him into working in a single outcome, right? Why does Elon Musk attract such great people to work with, such great engineers and such great physicists to put his products together? It's because he's got really big dreams of how he wants to change the future, and people get wrapped into his dreams. That's how I've created my company too. Here's the most important step if you dream. It's to have faith in your customers. Faith in your customers. Faith in the people that are watching your videos. Faith that they can do what you're teaching them to do. Right? I've met a lot of people that are in this niche that don't believe in people. They're just doing it for money. But they get customers and they don't even like them. Right? Now that's not something that's going to be useful to you. If you don't like people, eventually they're not going to like you. Right? And if you like people, if you really learn to like people, you'll believe in them, because if you can do it, they can do it too. Right? This is a fundamental truth that I've always believed. I believe that no single human being is better or more important than another. We just fill different roles in life. So if a rich person shouldn't be cleaning the house because it's a waste of his mind, right? He needs the person who's there cleaning his house just like that person needs them. They need each other. We all need each other to fill all roles in life in order to do great things, and therefore everyone's important, and you can believe in everyone to accomplish a part of the dream that we have for the world. Now here's the thing, when you believe in people, they also step into new heights. People change when you believe in them. It's completely a physical, visible phenomenon. If you'll just decide to have faith in people and you'll look at them and you'll say, hey dude, I believe in you. I believe you can do this. I believe that you can step up. People will actually change and they'll step up and they'll do things that they didn't think they can do. Have you ever had a coach? Have you ever had a mentor that's come to you and they've said, hey, I believe in you, and because they said that, you changed? I remember back in 2002, 2003 through 2005, I had an upline in Amway. His name was Dennis Osterdag. Dennis changed my life. Now I didn't make money in Amway and I never made him a lot of money. But he used to fly out, he'd do meetings with me, and I remember I'd be so frustrated. I'd be out wandering around and talking to people in the middle of the night, listening to Amway audios in my car, trying to find prospects, because I didn't really know how to build relationships with people in my marketplace, right? I didn't know how to do attraction marketing. And so I used to wander around, I'd be so frustrated, I'd call Dennis and he'd say, Dave, I believe in you. Dave, I believe in you. You can do this. I believe you're going to be great. He'd say, Dave, I believe that you're going to be great. And I actually believe that he is the entire reason why I'm still involved in network marketing. It's because he believed in me. I had a mentor who believed in me, right? When you believe in people, they change. When you give people a chance, they change. Now, giving people a chance and believing them is not the same as putting up with malicious behavior, something I've always also had to learn, right? If you could believe it, if you believe in someone who's like a serial killer, right, they need to be put in prison, right? That's different. I'm talking about believing in people who make mistakes, right? Believing that people can overcome hurdles. Believing people can overcome obstacles. Believing that people can do great things on the internet. If you believe in people, your content's going to come across different. Your videos are going to come across different because you're creating a faith that transfers to the other people. I believe that faith in people is actually the secret that you're looking for. Faith in people, faith that they can do it. Faith that they have a divine mission, faith that they have a vision. And if you have faith in them, right, and you believe that part of your mission is to impact them, part of your mission, part of your vision is to impact them, you're going to create a different kind of content than if you don't have faith in them. Have faith in people, it's the secret that you're looking for. So these points, right, they're going to help you create great content. But what I want you to do is to have faith. Remember the John Maxwell story. Now again, this is going to be different for different kinds of people, but John Maxwell was busy too when he decided to read for an hour, to write for an hour, and to think for an hour, right? Every billionaire that I've studied reads for a minimum of 3 hours a day. And I've had people hit me up on Facebook. I remember I was having a conversation with a really busy middle-class man who was a little bit upset. And he said, Dave, how can you expect people who are in the middle class, who've got families, who've got kids, who have jobs, how can you expect them to take time to do personal development? This isn't practical. And I remember reading that and I was thinking, does he think he's busier than the President of the United States, than the founder of a billion-dollar company, than me? Right? Probably he's not busier than me. Probably it's the reverse, right? But I believe in that guy. I believe that he has the ability to change his life. And if you don't have time to do the thinking that you want to do, that's one of the reasons why network marketing is so cool, why internet marketing is so cool. It allows you to create more freedom, to create more personal development time, to create better vision, to create more faith. Right? This allows you to put yourself in a situation to where you can actually impact the world, you can actually study, and you can actually become who you want to be. Because when people lift their head above the water that's drowning them and they see how beautiful life can be for the first time, everything around them begins to change. And that's what I'm going to encourage you today to do, is to change. And you're going to do that how? Well, I want to give you a gift. If you write the best comment today in this show and share this on Facebook, the best comment, you're going to be selected. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to send you a free book if you're selected to do that. So I want you to write a comment, be really thoughtful on what you learned in this. Tell me why you should believe in Tell me a story about how somebody believed in you and it changed your life, right? And then I want you to put your email in, claim these bonuses, and listen to this audio at least 3 times, right? I've got a workbook as well that goes along with this that'll help you implement these ideas and to create your own strategy. This is not about listening to my strategy. You could listen to my strategy, you could do it like I'm doing it, but you guys have a different life than me. You have different resources than me. You have a different background than me. I want to encourage you to develop your own personal development strategy, because that's what content is really all about. Content is a part of your personal development. It's not just to attract leads. It's not just to brand yourself. It's that in the process of learning, you're teaching, and you actually will learn more from teaching than you will by just reading. Because if you just read, if you're just learning, yes, you're gonna learn. But if you're reading and you're looking at information and you're saying, I got to teach this, you pay attention in a different way. And then when you're teaching it, your brain creates connections that you don't create, and you become an expert more quickly. Does that make sense? So right now, I want you to go down, write a comment, put your email in. I'm going to see you on the next page. I'll give you those bonuses. And remember to come back every day to this daily shortcut, because we can help you with this process every day. Because what do we do here? Well, number 1, we teach you. Number 2, we give you assignments and help you think. And if you just continue to do that, you're going to become better over this next year. And my goal is to just help make you richer, help make you better. And I want to tell you that I appreciate you, and that faith in people is the secret that you're looking for. I'll see you in the next episode. I'll look forward to it.